That's rolling.
My phone's always muted.
But you don't like ASMR?
No.
Why not?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Episode 3 of the Gym Hall Rebel podcast.
Hey.
So excited to be here for you guys. What's going on, guys?
Oh, same old stuff.
Same
Yeah.
old
Hate
stuff.
myself.
Wow. All right.
No, I don't.
You what?
Hate myself.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for this episode, we thought it would be a good idea to talk about some workplace experience and what it was like for us when we got our first jobs. Some good, some bad, mostly bad.
Always
Before
bad.
we get into it, I want to say too, like, since yesterday was Remembrance Day,
Oh, yes.
we want to give our respect to the men and women that fought for us back in the day and now. Like, we will never forget you guys, and we appreciate what you guys done to keep us, free.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
your service.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So, workplace experience. So, I guess we can start off by talking about our first jobs and what it was like, the process of, like, getting that job, starting that job, and, just overall. So,
I feel like most of our jobs, like, not, like, because I've been through a lot of jobs, like,
Yeah.
like the unofficial jobs. But I think if everyone did the courses back in, like, at school was the co-op.
Oh,
You guys did
Yeah.
co-op?
I actually didn't
I
do
hated
co-op.
that.
So
My
would you
brothers did, I
consider
think.
that? Would you consider that your first technical job,
Not me.
Not
or would it
really.
be like volunteer?
You know what? For me,
You're not even getting paid for it. So
No,
it's
no, no.
not really a job.
well, no, just the experience alone,
But
though.
yeah, but I basically did when I did co-op. I did mine at I was stocking shelves
You
and
got
stuff
paid
like
for that?
No, but I was doing the job. Like, I was stocking the shelves with,
Oh.
Because, I
with
mean,
stuff.
you're
so
technically working for someone.
you're just working for free, basically.
Yeah.
Which is dumb. Which is very dumb.
You greedy pig.
Yeah, but I mean, for my volunteering, I did Cable 14.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
Blew
for
your
me,
mind.
it necessarily didn't feel like a job, but like you said, Luca, like I wasn't getting paid, but the experience was nice. So yeah,
I got screwed over with my co-op because I remember in grade 10 we had to pick our courses for grade 11, and I specifically went to my guidance counselor and I'm like, I don't want to do co-op. Like, I want to do more like drama class and stuff like that, and like photography. He's like, put one of those two on, or I think I said put drama class on or something like that. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then grade 11 comes by, and I see I had co-op on my timetable, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't want this. So I went over to my guidance counselor, and I'm like, I said I didn't want this. Like, why is this on here? I want a drama class instead. And he's like, oh, it's a good experience for people. You get to make money under the table. And I'm like, you don't make money off of this shit.
No, it's
Like,
for your volunteer
what?
hours. You don't
Fun
make money.
little thing. I always
Yeah.
thought it was working under the desk.
under the table. Oh my
Which,
God.
just thinking about that, it's so wrong on so many levels. But, yeah. That was that.
Wow.
Yeah, see, I did when I did like my co-op. It was like I did mine at Staples, so I was supposed to be
Oh,
like
yeah, I
fixing
remember you
computers.
talking
about
that.
So I was trying to get into that, but like halfway into the co-op thing, I was ending up just going in there and stocking ink and staying in the ink section all day, stocking that stuff. I was like, I'm basically working. Like, I'm not even like fixing computers no more. So like I eventually okay, if I'm gonna go somewhere that's like stocking, like I'm gonna go where it's like even more necessary and closer, because it was like on the highway away, so I was like, I'm not going this far. So I went to like Fresco,
Yeah.
and I'm doing co-op at Fresco, and like I was in in the dairy section, so like I basically got the job experience there, and like that was like my first kind of job, I guess you would say, just because it was like the experience. But yeah, wasn't the best ideal thing for co-op,
Yeah.
especially because I wanted to do something completely different than what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get the hours at that point. I was like, I'm not trying to.
I mean, for me, I think the one thing, if I learned anything working from co-op, working at a television network company, I think it was working under pressure, because we set up for like the live shows for like the news broadcasts and stuff like that, and then once the live broadcast goes, like, that's it. Like, there's no room for mistakes. You gotta be on the ball. So I was usually on like the audio mixer and stuff. So I was responsible to actually like playing the music on cue when they would go
on the DJ queue.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Hey, there we go. There we go. But seriously though, like I'd be responsible for the intro cues and then the outro cues, and I'd have to do it at a specific time when they told me to do it, and I'd have to have the music queued up at the specific time.
It's live, isn't it?
It's live, yeah. So I remember the one time.
Room for screwing up.
No, and the one time I did screw up, and I actually played the wrong outro theme for the wrong show.
Uh-oh.
But okay, I was only like a week in. Yeah. So you know what I mean, and I got reamed by my producer,
Yikes.
And I remember the whole bus ride home. I felt like a piece of garbage.
What did he say?
Pretty much after the show, he was like, "What the hell was that?" I was like,
Uh-oh.
"What are you talking about?" And he goes, "And I guess they have certain USB and SD cards for certain shows, so I used the wrong SD card. No one told me." So he goes, "This is for this show," and then he slammed it, and he's like, "This is for the other show," and I was like.
No one told me that.
I was like, yeah, nobody told.
You should have told him. That's what you said, right? You said nobody told me.
I was too much. Like I was like an armadillo caught in a ball. I was too
nervous?
thick. Yeah. And then the bus ride home, like cueing freaking Broken Wings by Mr. Mister. Like I was like, it was raining too. I was so mad. But you know, like that though, moving forward, that taught me how to handle pressure. Because now, if that were to happen, I could care less.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as bad. I'd be like, all right.
For me, I didn't really do any like school co-op, but I did this thing like with my family. It was like for a church. Like we went to an annunciation, but it was St. Vincent de Paul that did it. Basically, it was like around every year around Christmas time. You just get a bunch of like food hampers, and then you'd go to specific houses for people who are in need, and then. Yeah, just dropping the food off at people's houses and just seeing how grateful they are. It's a great feeling, honestly.
My co-op was really stupid. It was like, it was at the rec center that's near my house, and it was like, it was so dumb because like all I did was clean baby toys, and it's like. I was basically the janitor, and I was like, what?
Janitor Rosado.
I didn't want to do this to begin with. And like there would be days where like I would clean these baby toys, I would wipe them down and everything like that, and I would put them in a specific spot, and then when I come back the next day, it's still in that specific spot, untouched. So what am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to re-clean them? Like, what am I doing? It was so dumb. It was so dumb.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, but then like for me, like, see, I had a few like unofficial jobs, not unofficial, but like. I would say like seasonal, not even seasonal. Like it was like, so I would have because I was like, you know, you high school kid, it's hard to find a job. Like everybody wants experience, but then how like you know what I mean?
The problem is back then it was like people you knew, and like now or whatever, it's like people have to know you instead of the other way around. So, it was like, tricky.
Most places you needed connections. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like, you needed and like. It was hard because nobody wanted to volunteer. You know, like you need experience. It's like how to get experience. Like you want to volunteer. It's like no, like I don't want to work for free. You know what I mean? Like we were young kids. Like we want to. You know, that was the hard part was like trying to find. So like I was like all in between different jobs. So like the first job I think I had was I think it was either. So I did drywall. Mm-hmm. My sister's friend gave me like.
Your first ever job, right?
I think it was my first ever job. Was like I did. It wasn't even like that long. It was like a day. So like it was just I don't know, just to make some money. But I did drywall, and it was my sister's friend. He worked for a company, and like he had me on site with him, and we just did a whole drywall for a garage. It was cool. It was pretty easy. Like it wasn't that bad of work, but like I did that, and then like it was like paid under the table, so like I got paid in cash, whatever. And then eventually my sister's, I think her old friend, her brother, got me a job with his landscaping company. Mm-hmm. And so I did landscaping for the summer, and like it was nice because that was back when like minimum wage was like $11.
Yeah.
So I was making $12. I was making like, right. So then that was under the table too. So like it was like, kind of like I just work and then he would show up one day and pay me whatever.
No tax reduction.
And then no. So then I think our first kind of official job was when we worked at Disney on Ice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I wasn't there for that.
That was
that was honestly it was the best. Like
that was so fun.
So like we
Not
were
gonna lie.
the merch people. So like there were some people in the booths. Some people would like, but the best part about it was that it was minimum wage for everybody. So you were if you were 16 years old, you'd get adult minimum wage.
Yeah.
So then they hired anybody. Like all of us got hired. All my siblings and I got hired. And then my mom emailed them. She's like, oh, I just want to know like what time you guys like have your thing going because I'm like bringing my kids down. And they're like, you're hired. She's like, no, I don't want the job. They're like, I'm just asking. So I was like, but so we did Disney on Ice, and basically what we did was we would go into the back room and we'd stock up all like the big poles of cotton candy or bring the snow cones down and the toys, and we'd walk up and down the aisles like at the beginning of the show. It was great. It was honestly like
it was an interesting experience.
it was pretty fun because like all you really had to do was like you walk up and down the stairs and then they'd say the show's starting, and then when they say the show's starting, that's when you go back up and you restock your stuff, and the entire show you sit in the break room and you just chill for like 40 minutes, and then the intermission would come on, and then you would go up and down the stairs again, and you would like do the same thing. You would sell whatever you could. You put the money in like the little apron that they gave you with the pockets, and then like you would like they'd say, oh, the show's gonna continue. So then you go right back upstairs again, and then you do the same thing, and then the show ends, and then the last part is you have like these booklets.
Oh yeah.
And you stand outside the doors and you hold the
Yeah.
booklets around, and then the show is over, and like there was like an hour in between. So like we'd have an hour break to do whatever. So we'd all go down to Jackson Square and like we just like chill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I would always go to the dollar store there. I wouldn't even go to the food court because I don't trust Jackson Square down there. But honestly, it was a nice gig. And then like at the end of it, it was him and I, and then this other girl, and then
shout out to Jen. What's up,
Jennifer.
Jen?
That's what it was.
Hey,
Jennifer.
hey, what's up, Jen?
It was us and this other kid, and we all got like a bonus at the end because we were the only ones who actually
we were the only honest ones there because everybody else they stole shit.
Yeah, there were people would like overprice something and then pocket the money.
Yeah,
and it was like brutal and But I was like, how do you like? It was like for a week though. It was for March break.
Yeah.
But like the paycheck was nice.
It was good.
It was really
good.
nice. So that was.
I hoarded that money, man. Like I didn't.
That was like the most money I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
dude. I was like, when I saw the first paycheck.
I was like, I held that money until like July. I was like, nah, like I'm keeping this.
Because we had no bills to pay, right?
Yeah,
so we were
exactly,
in high school
right?
Still, so like,
exactly.
When we got that paycheck, we were like,
best feeling ever.
Oh my gosh, money!
It's awesome.
It's all mine.
This is triple digits. I've never seen this before.
Holy
so yeah, like that was our like first official, I guess you could say unofficial job. Like I don't know, like what about you? Like are you guys like had the same situation?
It wasn't necessarily official. It was another one day thing for me. It was it was my uncle. He gave me connections to this guy who was a tree cutter, and
you were a lumberjack?
Basically, yeah. I should have worn my plaid today.
Yeah, oh man.
No, it was like a day thing. Like I could have done it more, but I'm like, no, it was too stressful, man. The guy was like, he was a grouchy man.
Really?
And I'll always remember he like climbed on the top of the tree and he's like, "Hey, take a picture of me," and I'm like, "No."
What?
I don't want it.
I remember this. I remember you telling me what you said like some like angry.
I think he was French or something.
Yeah,
angry Frenchman. And I remember he specifically because he cut off bits of the tree and a lot of like the chunks would like fall in the person's house's garden, and she'd get so mad at him. It was the funniest thing ever. Like you just see a stump fall down, just boom, right into her bush of like plants and stuff, and you just see her. It's like I love this. And then eventually he told me to like round up the logs and stuff and bring it to his truck. And he's like, "Put it at the back of the truck." I'm like, "Okay, got it." I put it to the back. Later he's like, "What are you doing? It's not at the back. It's at the front." And I'm like, "But no." He said the back. He said, "No, I meant like here." And I'm like,
"Oh boy,
dude,
I hate that."
If you go on a bus and you say go to the back of the bus, you don't sit at the front. You sit at the back, and it's this man stressed me out. But he gave me a good paycheck. And then
was it a day's work?
It was just one day, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks for the experience." He's like, "Yeah, it wasn't too much, but here you go. You've earned it. You've worked hard." And then I remember going home and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not calling this guy again." He's too grumpy.
Yeah.
Take the money and run.
Honestly, I mean, it was a cool experience, like seeing the tree get cut down. That was pretty cool.
You made like a tree and leaf.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh man, I got too many puns.
Yeah.
Didn't you also do Monster Jam at the same thing?
Man,
I didn't do that.
Monster Jam was
I remember getting the email for it. I looked at the email and I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
Monster
And,
Jam was completely different.
Yeah.
It was not the same people. Like some of the same people were there, but like it was not the same experience. Like,
Was it like the same like supervisor girl?
No, yeah, I think so.
Was
but like
it?
other people were like just I don't know. They were just fucking rude. Like they were
Yeah.
rude and like it was like so miserable. So like
Really?
and like we would be sitting at the booth and like the monster trucks would be going and like they wouldn't like they said after like, oh, you guys can get the little earplugs,
Yeah.
but they were loud and we didn't have earplugs in. So like you guys never been to a Monster Jam event?
No, I
So,
haven't. I know
whoever
it's not,
has-
though.
I just can't remember.
Whoever has, I don't know who has. Like it's if anybody watching has ever been like if you don't have the little earplugs in or headphones in, like it
Yeah,
destroys your ears.
they're
They're
super
so loud. But like the one thing I liked about it though is I always heard the same Volbeat song for like the one. I think it was for the Mohawk Warrior. I think it's the truck's name, but it was always the same Volbeat song. I forget what song it was now. But yeah, I always heard the same one, so I always jammed up to that. But like other than that, like it was. Yeah, I know. And I remember this one guy got mad at me because they were like headphones like the ones you have on basically, but like they were like Monster Jam and they were tires, and he wanted them for his kids, and he goes like, how much for these? And I'm like, they're $20, and he yelled at me. He's like yelling at me about the price. He's like, that's so fucking expensive. He's like, oh, like I hope you feel good about yourself. And I literally yelled back. I was like, I don't make the prices. I'm just selling them.
Honestly, as well for headphones, $20 is cheap.
Yeah.
Like headphones now, you're lucky to get a good one for 60.
But depending on how much kids he
They were
has,
earmuffs, though, weren't they?
They were just for one kid. Like they were like,
Oh.
yeah, they were for one kid. But like, I mean, they weren't like it was not like they were really crappy design. It was like they.
It was like a souvenir item, basically.
Yeah, but
right?
it was like headphones and like these parts were like tires.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
yeah.
it was the yellow and said Monster Jam on them, so they were
Yeah.
cool. But like, I get it. They're probably pricey, but
yeah.
But yeah.
I didn't make the price.
Well, yeah, for kid pricing, I guess. Oh well.
Reminds me of the time where I was selling the cotton candy at Disney on Ice. I had 3 left, and the ones that I was selling, they were $20 each. I had 3 ones left, and this woman, she's waving me down like that, and I'm like, oh yep, I'm coming right up, and she's like, how much for them? And I'm like, they're $20 each, and she's like, I'll take all 3, and I'm like,
damn.
really? Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, you have to go down to the way bottom. Like,
Yeah,
just that's where all like, the rich
people.
are.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, did I tell you that he one dude tried to haggle me?
Yeah,
Down there?
I think you remember.
He's like I go down there like the front row, like they paid big bucks if they're like literally right on the edge of the ice.
Yeah.
So I'm wandering down there, and this dude, he has his wife with him and his like little daughter. He tells me to come over, right? So I'm going over to him and he's like, oh, how much for them? And I'm like, oh, $20 each, sir. And he's like, oh, $20? That seems a bit too steep. How about you give me $20 for 2? And I'm like, can't do that, sir. And his wife was getting pissed off at him because he was trying to like negotiate and shit.
You don't do that.
Yeah, he was trying to negotiate. His wife was like, stop, just pay the $20. And then he looks at me and he's like, never mind. And I'm like, bro, you're really trying to be cheap right now? You're literally on the edge of the ice. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, surely you have $20 if you can afford the front row seats. Come on now.
I hate people trying to haggle prices with you. It's like, I don't make the prices. Like I have to sell. It's like I'm not trying to get in trouble for helping you out.
But,
Like,
yeah, but then they get mad at you when you don't do it.
Yeah.
Like.
Didn't somebody like yell at you saying like it was like highway robbery or
some
shit?
Someone said that's a highway robbery when I was selling the snow cones. I think the snow cones were like $25.
What the fuck?
And
really?
I'm like, yeah. And I'm
the
like,
small ones?
I think so. Yeah, because like they were like the big Disney cups. Like everything was there was like mad expensive.
Oh yeah,
but,
definitely.
Like I said, like I don't make the prices. I was just selling the stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to make some money as a high school kid.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was basically the first job, like first official job, and then then we moved on to the can't say the name. A certain coffee store.
The coffee
no,
shop,
Okwan had his first official job first.
Yeah,
and
you
I
got
think
yours
it was
first.
No, or was it me?
No,
because you tried to work in with the schedules.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start.
You can
with
start.
that. So so I remember for like years in high school, I was like trying my hardest to get a job, and I don't know, for some reason at the time, like it was just hard for us to get jobs.
Oh, it still is hard now. It's
yeah,
like
it is,
next
but
to impossible.
but for high school students now, it's a lot easier than it was back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they hire just about anybody now. Like
everybody now.
They want younger people. That's
exactly. Yeah, but for some reason back then, like it was, you didn't have the experience, and they're looking for people that are experienced.
Mostly fast food, right? Because like.
I mean, everywhere.
I'm not like disrespecting, but it's like if you're in high school, like the thing that you're gonna be
And-
drawn
yeah.
towards is
and
fast
and,
food,
and
right?
that's where I'm gonna get to. The one thing I told myself that I wouldn't do is I wouldn't work in fast food.
Yeah,
So
I know. I told myself that too.
yeah,
But go
and I was like, nah. So I kept searching. I was looking for jobs in the mall. I was looking for places, just anywhere else, like computer stores.
I know you really
clothing
wanted the one video store
which
at the mall by the food court. Yeah.
I wanted that one. But yeah, they're saying they were hiring. You put in your resume, they don't accept it. So I remember my mom was like, "Yo, why don't you just apply to the coffee shop?" Legit is right beside my
Not
house.
even a 5-minute walk.
Not
We
even-
can look out,
it's
we can
2
look out the
seconds.
window and we can see it.
Exactly.
literally.
So I was like, fine, and I got my resume and I gave it to the manager, and she was like, oh, absolutely. Well, I'll look at it and you'll probably get an interview within like 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, and I didn't expect a call back, and then so you think I got a call back, and then this is where I knew everything was gonna go downhill with this job.
Oh no.
Because so dressed nice for the interview, went and had our interview in like it was in the stock room, and okay, so for one, I felt very bad because they ask you certain questions on the on I guess the like in
Application?
the not the application but the interview sheet.
Yeah.
So they ask you certain questions, and some of the questions were like, oh, what are you hoping to do when you graduate? Because I think I was in grade 11 going into grade 12. So I was like, oh, I want to graduate from high school, and then I want to pursue.
Sorry to interrupt, but you started it in grade 12?
It was the summer going into grade 12.
Oh, I thought you started
Or maybe
it like,
halfway
I thought you
through.
started it earlier.
No.
Like in grade 10.
Maybe
No.
halfway through.
'Cause
Because
I
I remember being in grade 11 when I started my job.
Well, because I remember I started. It was 2015, and we were
Yeah.
all 17 going into.
You're at least
Because we
halfway
graduated
over the
2016,
Oh.
right? Yeah. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got my job at the pharmacy like right after we graduated. So
Exactly,
that
yeah.
makes sense. Anyway, continue.
So I said, I want to pursue film. I want to be a film director, and she's like, "That's nice." And then she was writing it down.
That's nice. I
She
don't
was
care.
writing it down. I don't mean to sound like rude, but she was writing it down. She wrote film, and then she got to director, and she couldn't spell director, and she was like, okay. She's like, oh, we'll skip that question. I was like, okay. So then
We have those moments.
yeah. So then continuing on, she's asking me important questions like if there's a fight, what do you do? Obviously I'm like, I try to calm down the fight. If I can't, you get a manager. All the typical stuff. And then I kid you not, every 2 minutes, employees were like coming in interrupting the interview, and you're never supposed to do that
No.
at all. And it would be like, hey, I just had one question. Do we have any more Boston cream? And it would be like, you know what I mean, like that. And then the last the last question, the manager's phone rang, and legit, I think it was her mom, and they were talking about who was gonna bring what to the barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to just sit there like,
What an interview.
Wow. All
yeah,
right then.
wow.
See,
So then, sorry, go
Dressed
ahead.
up nice for this.
The fact as well, though, that the manager is doing that part of the job, interviewing, just means, yeah, you got the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I got home and my mom was like, "Oh, how was the interview, sweetheart?" And I like stood. I was like, "I don't know." Like,
Very confused.
So
I was like,
confused.
"I don't know." So then I got the job. And I remember when I started my first day, my mom like took all the pictures of me, and they're so embarrassing. I'm
Put it up on the
smiling.
screen.
I'm smiling and cheering, and I didn't know what I was in store for. And then the first day, it just beat me up. I think they first put me on drive-through,
Oof.
and I couldn't. I was so nervous. Like, I was scared that I was gonna say "Welcome to McDonald's" or something like that, or you know what I mean, like say the wrong name of the fast food chain. And then I was the type of person where like I was just always super nice to customers, being like, "Here you go, have a nice day, have a wonderful day," right? And I remember, I think it was like maybe 30 minutes before my shift ended, and I gave the guy the wrong amount of change, and he was like, I was like, have a great day, sir, and he's like, you gave me the wrong amount of change. And I was like,
you get people like that.
I almost cried. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and he rolled his eyes and he drove off.
Wow.
Wait, you rolled his eyes and drove away without his change?
No, I gave it to him, and then he rolled his eyes.
The change that he was probably missing was what, like 10 cents? Probably.
I think so.
That's usually
maybe like $1 or something.
Oh no!
But,
like you're gonna get broke over 10. Like I hate people like that, man.
You know,
seriously.
and then so then I remember like after that, I think it was like 3 days in, and I asked my mom, like, Mom, what would you think about me quitting? And she's like, excuse me? She's like, I didn't raise no quitters in this house. You finish what you start. She's like, you ain't quitting. I was like, I was like, damn. It's like more like, right.
Okay.
But
oh man.
Yeah,
Did I Photoshop your first day picture with Shrek behind the counter?
You probably did, because I think I remember.
I had a weird phase where I kept photoshopping Shrek with.
I remember.
I remember you
really
did.
bad phase.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was me behind the counter. I think it was somebody else.
Oh, I know there's one of you in a swimming pool.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, so going back to what I said about co-op, about handling like peer pressure. So this job like took it even further and helped me deal with customers and.
Sorry.
You going Super Saiyan?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sorry.
Just handling just pressure from customers and just being what do you call it? Just being on time.
Hasty about it, like hasty with like their orders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like quick with their orders.
Yeah, exactly. And over the months, like it took time to develop, so I kept making a lot of mistakes, handing out the wrong things, making the wrong drink. And I would go home just every day just feeling like I failed, but then it's like, well, when you fail, you have to, practice to get better. Eventually over the years, I was just a pro at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And people, I gained respect. Customers love me, and I love the customers that come in and, you already know what they want. And, before they eat, because what I would do is like, before they would come into the store, I could see them outside the window and I'd be able to make their stuff.
And
then they'd be like, holy crap. And I remember people would be like, yo, get this guy at the front.
The regulars and stuff like that?
Yeah. And that's how you get the best tips.
Yeah.
So I was about my money.
Yeah. About your business.
So about the business?
Business.
So like, who got their so how did it go with regards to who got their jobs first?
I was first.
It was him,
Mine
and
was
then
last.
I think it was me.
Yeah.
I got it at like
a Halloween costume.
Yeah, like
place.
a party store.
Yeah.
I mean, for a first job, it was great. I loved it. It was just one manager in particular. Oh, he bursted my bubbles. Let me tell you.
Did you do it for seasonal though?
Yeah, it was seasonal,
okay.
but some people.
I remember when you were working there. I applied there. But
you all tried applying.
Yeah, I applied way too late though because it was right after Halloween.
Oakland was actually.
I was trying to work 2 jobs and I got in.
Oakland was the one that got in.
Like what? One shift?
It was 2 days.
Oh yeah.
And they never called back or anything, and I was like, oh okay.
I remember
still
that.
got my other job.
I remember it was unfair too because I started like mid-August, and
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then they just gave me the shaft. I'm like, oh.
So they just stopped scheduling.
Yeah, they didn't even tell me my seasonal thing was done.
That's the thing though.
They just stopped talking to you.
That's the thing though. Is like
me.
Anybody who ever says like any place that says like seasonal, and then it says like with the chance of like hiring full time, they're not gonna.
Though someone we did know, he ended up staying somehow. I'm like, but I was probably a harder worker.
Yeah, it's like a small chance of people that'll get.
Yeah.
It was like right up my alley too, because like costumes and stuff, and I love that stuff. Like I got that one, like that bone crow mask. Yeah, I repainted and stuff because it was like a checker pattern. But
didn't you guys get like a walkie-talkie thing too?
Oh yeah, and you had to hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I got my job first, and then Andrew, and then I think it was Joe next.
Yeah.
And then Luke.
I got mine very last because I knew for a fact that I wasn't gonna be able to juggle school with work at the same time, because the drugstore that I was working at, it's open until midnight.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to be all like, oh yeah, I'm going to school, and then after school I gotta work until midnight, and then be up at 6 a.m. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No, I wasn't trying to do
Yeah,
that.
that was the one thing I didn't like about like my job as well, is that like bless you. Yeah, the one thing I didn't like was that like availability. Like you'd give them a certain availability and be like, hey, I'm in grade 12. Like it's gonna be a hard year this year with me graduating, trying to get all my credits. And then you give them the availability, and then they don't follow by it. No. You say only afternoons on this day, and that day. Okay, you get morning shifts, 8 hours.
Yeah, like what?
And it's like
I have school.
Yeah, it'd be weird like that. And then you'd have to like be stern and be like, guys, look, I can't work this. You have this much staff. Work it out. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It shouldn't be the employee's job to.
No, it never is. That's why you have managers.
Yeah, bringing back to that my first job as well. Oh, I was about to say like, there are two instances where I'm like, what the hell, guys? So one of them was we had this tall orange ladder. We called her Chastity, man, because she squeaked. People who work there, you know who Chastity is. Anyhow, we were just about to like close up for the night. I was using Chastity, climbing up to the top, and I was putting stuff away, like restocking shelves. And then this manager I was talking about earlier just shuts the power off to the store. All the lights are off, and I'm like at the very top of the ladder. I'm like, what the hell? Like he didn't give me a warning or anything. He do that? And then I walk, like somehow don't fall off the ladder, go to the back where we like clock in and stuff, and like everyone's just there clocking out. I'm like, wow, thanks for the heads up.
The hell?
Yeah.
Like I should have just intentionally fell just to assume or whatever.
That'll show you.
Yeah, my elbow's like popping out the other way. Got you. And then the second one is we'd have to occasionally go outside with a sign. Like you've seen it like for pizza places and stuff. They have a guy like by the road with a sign waving it around. And they actually made me be that guy. I'm like, oh sweet, I get to walk around and like dressed up and stuff. That's awesome. And I remember specifically this manager again. He's like, he's bringing me out, and I'm like, how long do I have to be out here? He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll let you know. And then he's like, yeah, I won't forget. I'm out there for what? I think it was an hour, 2 hours maybe. Oh.
Was it hot out?
Not too hot.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually he's like, okay, you can come back in. The next day, I'm on that duty to be the sign guy. I'm out there for like 30 minutes. This manager's just pulling up, and she's like, oh, how long have you been out here? It's a bit too late for that. I'm like, oh, just 30, or no, I think that one was an hour. The first one was longer. And she's like, yeah, no, you're only supposed to be out there for 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I wasn't told this.
Yikes.
And then later on that day, that manager's talking with the other manager from before, and he's like, they should know this. We made this very clear. And
jeez.
Like, no, you did not tell me anything. And this guy always stood around. He didn't work.
Looks like somebody wasn't a good manager.
Yeah, he was terrible. If it weren't for him, that place would be like perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess all that's left is my job experience. So
You'll need some too.
Oh yeah.
We haven't got to our interviews yet for like our other ones.
Right. Yeah. For what?
I have 2 more jobs.
For our
for the other ones. Okay. Well, we should just do chronological order then. So you go then, Joe.
So then it would have been you at your. Place.
So I applied to a lot of places, and I was pissed because the one I applied to was Flying Squirrel. Like I applied there, and like I did like an interview, and like
that's the squirrel.
And it sucks. So I got interviewed at the Starbucks. That's over there, and like
you got interviewed at Starbucks.
Yeah, they interviewed at Starbucks. It was weird, but
Did you know that? Sorry to interrupt again, but did you know that they make more than minimum wage?
What?
Starbucks employees.
Oh yeah, probably.
They make more than minimum wage.
They're more like
classier.
Yeah,
I think minimum wage is what, like 14 something.
Of course.
Yeah,
I think they make 14, like 15 something.
14.35.
I think they make 15 something.
Yeah, but minimum wage is going up to 15 though.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I got my interview there, and it's because they asked me the one question, and it was something about like what happens if like some kid like breaks breaks their leg or something like that, and like it's the point where it's like there's blood involved, or there's a bone popped out or something like that, and I'm like. And I was like to them, I said, well, first off, I would like stop everybody on the on the whatever, jumping around, whatever they're doing on the trampoline stuff that's in there. And I was like I would try to like tend to the person. If not, like I call medical, like a medical service or like 911 as soon as possible. Try to get like medical attention to the person as soon as possible. And they're like that was really good. Like that was a really good answer. But like so like we trained you on that. But that was really good. And I was like perfect. And then she gave me the card. She's like, oh, here's my card, and like we'll be in touch, whatever. And I never got a call back.
Damn.
So I was like, all right. So
Yeah.
so then I got my next interview at I got in, and like you, exact same coffee place, not the same one but different location, but
The coffee shop.
the coffee shop.
The coffee shop.
Yeah. But anyways, so I put a resume in there. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I brought it over there. But yeah, so I brought my paper there and like the resume there, and they're like, okay, we'll be in touch. So then like I got a call back, and they're like, oh, we're gonna give you an interview on whatever time. I forget what time it was. It was sometime in the afternoon, but it was like, we'll give you an interview then. And I was like, okay. So I showed my interview. This was me going through my fucking like punk face. So I had like I had my leather jacket. I had my hair combed over. I had like my chain hanging out of my wallet, like the chain.
Yeah.
And then I had like my black jeans and boots on.
Yeah.
And I walked in there with my eyebrow piercing. When I had my eyebrow piercing, I missed that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my interview there, and like they interviewed me the same thing with you, the paper with the questions.
Yeah.
And they're at, like all the questions there. I had to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really got a talk interview like you did.
Yeah.
They kind of just like asked a couple questions, and they gave me the paper to fill, and that was it.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
And they're like, oh, we'll be in touch. And they're like, okay. I got a call back, and like I got a call back like almost like less than a week later. And I was like, they're like, oh, we're gonna hire you. So we're like, you started this day. And I was like so excited, like, oh my god, thank you so much. And then, I worked there for 5 years, and I'm like, I don't know why I was so excited that day.
Me 6 years I worked there.
Yeah, I got stuck there, but like there's so many instances with customers that just like, oh god, like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like customers be like, oh, I had my coffee, I got all the way home, and I there's no sugar in it. I'm like,
no.
So you don't have sugar at home?
No. What I love is like they come back and it's like, welcome to. Can I help you? Hi, I got this coffee. Yes, I got this coffee. There's no sugar in it whatsoever. Okay, come on down. Come on down to the drive-thru. Open the window. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing here. I don't know if you guys are fooling around. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, we'll make it for you right away. When did you get this? Yesterday morning.
Oh, so stupid.
Sorry, miss. I can make this for you now, but you can't be doing that because you can't.
Yeah.
You had all the time in the world to be doing. I was busy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
My manager told me one time. My manager told me because one guy came to the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And he got mad at us because he left the drive-thru and he was making a turn on the road and his coffee spilled in the car, and he wanted us to remake that. But like my manager told me, like as soon as they leave the property, like that's not our problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like one guy came in and he would come in all the time. He'd come to the drive-thru and it pissed me off so much because I knew who he was. The one time he came in and he's like, oh, like I left my tea in my car all night. Can I get a new one? And my coworker's like, we can't do that. And he goes, well, like why not? And she's like that's not how it works. If we get it wrong, then that's when we have to remake it for it. He goes, oh, what if I just told you it was wrong? And she's like, well, you just told me it wasn't, so I'm not gonna believe you. And he sped off.
Everyone tries to be a smart ass.
Yeah. I remember. I remember the one time with a customer. It was this is the thing too. I don't get with people when they come through a fast food, restaurant. Is the drive-thru? If you're gonna go through the drive-thru, I don't want to hear you complain.
Yeah, well, like you're the one
all the time. And with my location specifically, it's around just everywhere, like school, different stores, like it's around places where people
it's on the main street.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. It's a main street. So I guess this one morning we were just packed, and some person ordered like a bunch of crap, and the person behind them honked. And my manager wasn't having that, and she was such an OG, and she, after that car went and the car that was honking came up to the window, she's like, were you the person that was honking? And he's like, yeah, you guys are taking forever just for a coffee. And she goes, yeah, well, you know what? And she gave her the money, and she goes, yeah, you know what? You can take your business somewhere else. We're not tolerating that. And she tried giving him the money back, and he smacked her hand.
Really?
Yeah, like hard. And it caused a huge thing, and she pretty much put him in his place.
Good.
Slammed the window, the drive-through window, and just pretty much was like, "Yep, next order." I was like,
"Good."
Yeah,
Damn right.
because you know what, as employees of fast food places, like we shouldn't have to be treated like that.
Exactly.
They
Like
think
you're not
we're
human.
robots. Or
Yeah,
Exactly.
like,
Exactly.
Yes,
And the
sir.
thing is like if a customer's having a bad day, you shouldn't put that on an employee. Like I go to work every day. I'm not putting like
Yeah.
we all go through crap. We're human beings. Like we don't put that on customers.
That's
you know
the
what I
problem
mean?
is like that one customer ruins your entire day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like it sucks. But like before we get
Exactly.
into more work stories, like Luca's gotta get Luca his
yeah, sorry.
interview. His interview.
Gotta
summary.
give him the
No.
spotlight.
We're going in chronological order.
Yeah.
So what were we gonna say?
Chronological.
Chronological
So
order.
I guess pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much, Luca. The start of how you got into your job and
The
yeah. So
I mean, if your interview was pretty.
I don't really remember much about my interview. All I remember about my interview is being all like, "Oh yeah, I come here often, so I know where everything is," and that was it. And it's funny because when I said that, they literally like swapped everything around
Yeah.
like the
Wow.
next day.
Okay.
So I was like my first shift I was like, where's the pasta? So because like they swapped everything around and I didn't know where everything was.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
smart ass. We're gonna. Just...
Yeah.
Now let's see
So-
what you know.
So I mean,
Damn it.
I don't. From what I.
Cocky son of a bitch.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll show him.
I don't even know this kid. I hate him.
Wow.
So-
You're roasting a Luca right.
we're not. The managers are.
So I don't really remember much about the interview. That's all I remember about the interview. But during like the early days, like I applied to be what's it called, a merchandiser, like the stock
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah,
right? Like
stocking
what Ben
shelves.
is, right? What
Yeah.
Ben is. So that's what
Shout
I
out to Ben, my brother.
yes, shout out to Benny
Ben!
boy. What's up, Benny boy?
Where are the grapes?
Show me where the grapes are after this, okay? Yeah, I applied to be the merchandiser. And it was funny because they gave me my name tag too. My name tag said merchandiser. I never changed it. It said merchandiser. So when you apply to that place, you had to be trained both on merchandising and as a cashier.
Yeah.
So as I was being trained as a cashier, they were training me on cashier first for some reason. They were probably desperate for cashiers at the time. So they were training me on cash, whatever. I did not want to be a cashier. Like I specifically requested that 3 times. I told them I didn't want to be a cashier. No, thank you. So, they trained me on cash, whatever. Like it's a lot to like memorize because like pretty sure I have dyslexia when it comes to like numbers and shit.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I wasn't good at math. So when it
Yeah.
comes to like change and like stuff like that, like I had to like take a second, right?
Yeah.
So, training on cash, it was a little difficult because of that, but I eventually got used to it. So I remember when I was being trained for merch, I went over to one of the managers and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable on cash. Like I don't want to be a cashier. And then they're like, oh, it's okay. You just need more training. It's fine. Don't worry about
See,
it.
that's the great part. You don't get a choice.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not what I said. I said I don't feel comfortable on cash.
And I said you're getting on that cash.
Yeah, and
I don't care who you
yeah, and it was just they basically just stuck
Brushed
me
it
on.
off.
Yeah, like brushed it off, like stuck me on cash.
So-
it's not that I'm ungrateful for, like, obviously I'm grateful for the job and like the experience.
But that's
and
not the
everything.
job you were expecting. to
Yeah,
get.
exactly.
So-
like,
But that's not what you applied for, though.
no, it wasn't.
You wanted to be a pizza boy, they made you a bagel boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it was just like
Sorry, Luke. I just wanted to ask you a question. So you being, I guess, forced on the cash, do you think that helped you gain more, I guess,
confidence
and experience?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Especially social skills. 'Cause
That-
I know
yes.
what I took out for my last job was like social skills and how to talk to people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yes.
I think that was
Yeah.
for all of us. I
See-
didn't know how to talk
see,
to
that's-
anybody.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say too. Like, it's not like I was ungrateful for the job. Like, I was ecstatic that I got a job, right? But it was what I'm more grateful of is like them giving me the opportunity to step out of my comfort zone when it comes to like cashier stuff and like public stuff and shit like that. So I'm definitely grateful for that. But at the same time, it wasn't really what I was looking for, right? At the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
I remember I remember like maybe like 2 months after I started, right? This lady, she was buying like a toothbrush, like a single toothbrush.
Yeah.
And this is when I just started my shift,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
like
no.
I don't know. I've never heard
Have I
this
told you
story.
this
No, I don't
before?
think so.
Okay,
It's
so
like, it doesn't
I don't think
seem
I
like
told
it.
you guys this, but it was the start of my shift, right?
Yeah.
And when you get your till, right, you
Mhm.
only get so much money in your till. You only get like I think like so much money in your till when you start off.
Yeah,
So
same with us.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
So I put my till in and everything like that. Pretty sure she was like my second customer that I rung up. She's buying just a single toothbrush, and this toothbrush was on sale for maybe like $5 or like $2 or something like that. I can't remember the exact price, but she ends up giving me a $100 bill, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have like actual bills for this to cover that. So I didn't say that because at the time like I didn't want to like say it, like I was nervous, right? So I took the 100 whatever, and I was counting counting like her like $95, $96 change in like toonies and loonies and shit like that.
Oh,
Cause like yeah, because like that's all I had. Like I only had like so much like
You should have just told her you didn't have any bills.
Oh,
man.
Bro, if like today I would have been like I
no,
don't have enough change.
At the time though, like you always are thinking of like what if the customer flips off and like
Bro,
gets mad
okay,
at you for the
I'm getting to that. So I gave her the change rate, whatever, and it was like really busy, right? So I go like that. I go, here's your change, and like it's like all in my hand. I'm like, here's your change, and like as she was walking out, she's like, is this really necessary? Like holding like the change, like $95 of cash worth of coins, right? And I looked at her. I gave her like the deadest eyes, and I'm like, that's all I had. And then I started serving the next customer. So
yeah. I
that
mean,
was one of my stories.
That's
what a poo-poo face.
It's funny because like I got a same I've gotten customers like that all the time where like they get one small coffee and it's under $2, but then yet you're giving me $100 bill.
Yeah, I know. I hate that.
And the thing is like you I don't know if that's with you, Luca, but with I'm pretty sure with you too, Joe. Like you have to get a manager to actually look at the bill.
I got to the certain point where I just looked at it myself.
Oh,
I'm
man,
like, all right,
okay. They didn't trust me.
If the
transparent thing, yeah.
the transparent, or if the SIN numbers on the bottom like match up and it's fine.
Yeah.
So like, so with us, we had to, because we always got counterfeit bills, so we had to always check.
I never did that.
But it was just like I want to take the words of that lady and be like, is that necessary? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you have 100 to break? And like you're
no.
Yeah,
like, man, you're
Do
paying.
you possibly have
This
a
isn't a
100
bank.
And then it's like they give you it, and you're trying to find all the change. You're like, stop wasting my time. It's like,
Yeah, and then they
you're
want to
wasting time.
then they want to get mad because you're trying to give them the correct amount of change. Like,
Yeah.
go!
I've never worked cash, and
You lucky bastard.
I hope I
you're
never.
lying.
I don't even
keep
think
it
you
that
had to deal with. You didn't really have to deal with customers,
No.
did you? You just made their food.
You just made it.
Yeah, you made their food.
And I never want to because I do not want to talk to customers.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
But have they ever given you like American bills?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, we had there was a certain marker that you would like use and.
Oh,
Oh
really?
no, our tills we had like a converter.
Yeah.
So you would
Oh,
press.
really?
So you would press. You would
Yeah.
like type in like say they gave you like a
You
$5.
guys had the budget for that?
Yeah.
We had a button.
Yeah.
on mine.
They,
What?
They had like you would like type in the thing and you'd hit US.
No
and you'd
way.
give them the proper change.
Yeah.
Well, no. We had that, but like if we got the bill from them, we'd have to see if it was real or not. We had like this marker, and
no,
it
we
comes
just-
out a certain color, and if you can tell if it's like
Oh.
I think if it's yellow, it's good. If it's like other than yellow, then sorry,
fake?
it's fake.
Yeah, so we
Oh.
usually only ever really got like $1 bills.
Yeah.
So like we didn't like there was nothing like a lot of like that kind of I
Mhm.
don't think I've ever had that problem.
Yeah.
But there were some times where someone gave like we had to like give them this if we don't accept this. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we had the US cash converter thing on there, which
Yeah.
the mostly we ever got was the US like dimes or nickels. We didn't really
True.
get anything else.
No, we got some bills. Now that converter, we did have that. I thought it was like an actual like machine. I was
No,
like, what?
okay, we're not. No,
It's like,
no,
what
no.
the-
Epic machines.
But yeah, customers are just man.
They're poo poo.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. So
not all
like,
of them, but
I had a customer come to me. It was like some young kid, and he had a $50 American bill,
mhm.
and he's like, "Can you guys take 50 American?" And I'm like, I don't know about 50s, but I can ask my supervisor. And she's like, yeah, it's okay. Just press like the button, right, for
Yeah.
the US change. So I press it, right? And when you press it, you have to put in like the bill that they're giving you, right?
Yeah.
But what I forgot was like when you press the button, it highlights the total of their bill.
Yeah.
Like that they need to pay, right?
Yeah.
So when that's highlighted and when you hit enter, it like clears the transaction like as if they paid. That's what I did by accident. I didn't type in the money that they were giving me. I just hit enter.
Yeah.
So it covered the whole thing, and my till popped out, and I'm like, I don't know what this guy's change is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
that's
was
happened
fun.
with me where like they give me like, and it's worse when their order is like a huge food order, and I accidentally press the wrong. So say like their order comes up to like $40, and they give me the money, and I press the toonie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh snap! And then I have to think quickly. Okay, well they gave me this.
Yeah.
So how much do I have to subtract? And then you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
At first, when I did first start, I got like, I don't know, the anxiety was so bad. It felt like somebody
me
like
too.
had like a gun to your head. Like it just felt like you were just under pressure. Like okay,
Mom.
yeah, like you know what I mean? Like I couldn't handle it. Now, like looking back now, like it just. I was able to kind of just calm it and then, okay, calm down. There's no rush. Look at it. Okay, here's your change.
Yeah, see, the thing with me is
Have a
like
nice
I was like that too with a certain point where because when I became a supervisor,
Yeah.
there was a point where I was like, oh, we gave them the wrong like change amount. I'm like, how much did they give you? And they're like, oh, we gave them this much. I'm like, I literally would say to the customer, be like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And I go in the back and grab a calculator, go in the fucking calculator, do that. But like, yeah, it was like at the point
And
where like,
schools said we don't need our phones for calculators.
literally, we weren't allowed to have our phones. Well, when we need a calculator, we got to go looking for one. And ours was always
Yeah.
missing in action. But
Yeah.
no, I think honestly, looking back at it, like it did give you like the proper necessities to like deal with like the public and like customers, like customer
Stress
service and like,
and
communication, like.
Yeah.
But just like I don't know, like when you're in a fast food place, like they you're not human apparently.
You're not.
And
No.
that's,
We'll
that's
get to
You're
fast food
like
for
like
me.
You're a
Andrew
robot
said, you're just a cyborg and you need to be on a certain time.
Yes.
And the thing I hated too with certain customers, they would get mad at you because they were late going somewhere. So like
Yeah.
it
They
would
would
be
take
like,
it
come
on
on,
you.
it'd be like, come on guys, hurry up, I'm late for the bus. I remember this one person
That's your problem.
was late and we were trying to make her food and we're like, okay, well, we're still making your food. We have other orders as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the bus actually showed up because there's a bus stop in front of where I worked. And she literally just ran out and caught the bus. She didn't get her food. So she's like, oh, forget it!
Pretty
And then
sure-
she just went.
Pretty sure I made someone miss their bus too before.
Yeah,
But-
thanks a
oh, well.
lot. And I'm like, sorry, manage your time, prioritize your time properly. Like, you know what I mean? And then you have like the customers that come back. I had one lady. She got a salad. And I guess it wasn't made properly to her standards. I don't know if there wasn't enough cucumber. I don't know what it was, but she came back and I guess she was getting upset with the manager and she got the bag and she threw it and she tried throwing it at the manager, but she ended up throwing it at one of my coworkers.
Oh,
And it hit him,
no.
and she was the one that started crying. And she like walked away like it was the end of the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
We're the one who threw it. Like,
huh?
she's the one who fucking threw it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, customers are always right.
don't want to be the victim. Oh god. I think the one guy came in the one time and he was like, "This is like my best story." And like everyone like whoever's listening, like whoever worked with me, like this story. This was like the best story that I've had. So this guy came in. He's like, "Is your bathrooms open?" I'm like, "No, they're closed. Like, sorry, you can't use the bathroom." And he goes, "I can't use it. I really gotta go." I was like, "Well, there's a fresco over there. Like, you can go over there." And he's like, "Oh no, forget it. Like, I'm go." He's like, I was like, he's like, "What if I go in there?" And I was like, "I'm gonna call the police." So I was like, "You can't do that." He's like, "Okay, I'm calling the police." And he's like, "Call the police." And he goes into the bathrooms. So I'm like, ugh, whatever, right? I was like, "Hey, I'm not even involved with this guy." So he goes and uses the bathroom, comes back out and stands in line. And I turn to my coworkers. I'm like, I can kick this guy out, right? I'm like, I have the right to refuse this guy. And they're like, yeah, you can kick him out. So I literally go to the counter and he's standing there. I'm like, sir, you're not, I'm not serving you. I'm like, you can leave. And he's like, are you kicking me out? Why are you kicking me out? I'm like, I asked you, I said, I'm asking you to leave. I said, you used the bathroom when I told you it was closed. I said, you're disrespectful. I was like, you can leave. Like, we're not serving you. And he comes to the counter, he starts like arguing with me, and he's like, you're gonna kick me out because I used the bathroom. He's like, oh, I'm gonna call your manager. I'm gonna call HR. I'm gonna tell them how to properly handle a customer. And I'm thinking to myself, like, we don't have HR, so you can look wherever you want, right? And like, he's like arguing with me, and like this guy's like the other customer was like defending me. He's like, yo, you're an idiot. And the guy's like, the guy turns over, goes, excuse me. He's like, yeah, you're an idiot. Like, you're dumb. Like, you're stupid. And the guy's like, mind your own business. He comes to me again. He starts arguing with me, and I'm like. He's like, rules are made to be broken. I'm like, no, that's illegal. I'm like, that's called illegal. And I'm like, you see that red light over there? I'm not going to run that red light because rules are made to be broken. He shook his head and walked out. This guy gets into his fucking car. In his car. Goes and leaves. I'm like, the amount of time you could have drove home.
And the thing is like how you just told the story, you made it sound like he didn't have a car.
Yeah, that's the most shocking part. It was like he leaves the store, gets into his Prius.
Oh,
and I'm like... And like my coworker, it was like that, Joe, like that was amazing. She's like, you like intellectually won that argument. It was so funny. I was like, because I when I'm arguing with a customer, I'm not like get out of my store, like get out, like get the fuck out. No, I'm like arguing with them like what was the term? Like minds. Like I'm like smart about it. Like I'm like keeping my cool, right?
Factual,
so but like that guy, oh my god! As soon as he got into his car, I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like, "This guy got in his car and drove away. The amount of time he spent could have drove home."
Yeah.
So like that was like one of the most like annoying customers that I've had. But like there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't really had to deal with customers. Well, I do have this one. So, moving on, after that first job, I get a second job. That one's a fast food joint. Like burgers and stuff, all right, and that one helped me out too with like being able to break out of my shell more. Like I can talk to people more, I'm more social now, but oh man, it got stressful because we'd be getting orders like every second, and it's just for those impatient people in drive-thru, like. Or just customers in general. Like, you need to understand, we get so many orders. Mm-hmm. You have no idea. And we're expected to get it done fast. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we have to be slow enough that it's made right because then you complain. So
and then you come back.
Yeah, so just
I'm never coming to this place again.
Yeah,
all right,
good.
They see. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You'll make it easier on me.
Then stop coming.
I remember I had this one moment. This manager is so cool. But this was like around when COVID was happening, so we had to put like those screens up in front of the counters.
Yeah. Plexiglass.
Yeah, this guy wanted like, I don't know, some meal or whatever, and he was gonna get it, but then apparently he started complaining it was taking too long as usual, and then this guy starts like mouthing on the plexiglass. Oh, give it, give it, and then the guy's like, yeah, no, you gotta leave. He's like, no, I want my food.
Ew.
And he's like. Yeah, you're not getting it. He's like, fine. No, that's so fair. I want it. And then he's like, no. He's like, I can give you your money back. He's like, no, I don't want my money. I want my food. And he's like,
what the
yeah,
hell?
I don't care. He goes to the till, gets out money. I think he just threw it at him. He's like, get out. Get out. I don't care. You're not getting your food. He's like, this is fucking bullshit. And yeah, he walked out. I'm like,
damn.
Wow.
Did he take his money back?
I honestly don't know, but
oh my god,
just how stupid people are.
Nah,
they're beasts.
Speaking of messed up customers, I had this one customer like maybe 2 years back, and it's still to this day like I think about it and like how messed up it is. So there's one guy, he never, like, every time he would come in, he would never smile, he would never just acknowledge, like, you know, manners or anything, right? So I remember I served him, and he got 2 coffees, and the one coffee I made, okay?
Yeah, I keep choking on my water.
I made one of his coffees wrong, and I think it was 3 cream, 1 sweetener, and I put 3 sweetener, 1 cream. Mm-hmm. And he came at like almost the very end of my shift. It was a long shift. I was tired. I made it wrong. So he got the drinks, and then he came back, and I was trying to serve somebody else, and he interrupted them, and then took the coffee, and he's like, "There's no 3 cream in there," and he dashed it on the counter, and it came and almost fell, like it almost fell on me, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Let me make you another one," and he was just impatient, and my supervisor at the time, she called him out, and she's like, "Man, you're really lucky that didn't spill on him." because
Yeah.
like that would have been
For
your
real.
fault. Like you would have been that. You would have been really messed up if that fell and he's like, "Whoa, make my effing coffee right, make
Bro,
it right,
why do
make
people?
it freaking
Why
right."
do people get so triggered about coffee?
And there was
bro?
a line, and the thing is,
coffee.
people.
You know you have an addiction.
No, but
when?
the thing is, people were looking at him and they were like, you know, what's wrong? Like, and the thing is, I didn't raise my voice or I didn't give him attitude for him to do that, and you know, he was just my anxiety was just up, and I felt like the worst person ever. But I didn't do anything wrong other than make his coffee wrong. You know, and then he just coming back. I know the owner. Oh, I know the owner, and
that.
you know, and then after that day, like I just couldn't get that out of my. Even now, I can't still get it out of my head. Like every time he would come in and I'd have to serve him, like I would just be so anxious that I would make it wrong.
You're the better person, Oakwan. Just remember
Thanks,
that.
buddy.
Just believe
You
in
know,
yourself. Others will believe in you.
You know, never said thank you, never did anything. And it's weird because, like, when he would come in with his wife was the super nicest lady ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Before we wrap up, should I tell the infamous milk story?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I had
All
something
right.
like that happen at my place.
All
too.
right.
We can always make this a 2-parter too.
Yeah.
If
Sure.
people
Why don't
want
we
to hear.
just bring it back on our next
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got so much more
Yes,
work
we
horror
do.
stories. So if you guys want to hear
yes.
that, let us know. But
Yeah.
if not, like we'll make it a 2-parter.
Smash that like button.
Constant trauma.
Destroy that like button.
Dad?
Okay, so before we wrap up here, the infamous milkman story at the drugstore. Okay, I just want to say, God bless all of the nice customers that were nice towards me. Like all the ones that saw me and like actually like took the time to like talk to me and stuff like that. Like, you know who you are. Thank you for that. Okay, I appreciate that. So, but there was this one dude. Oh my goodness. So, this was when like COVID's like just started and stuff like that, and
very serious.
the mask policy was like first implemented and stuff like that to like public places and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, my store made it clear, like, you know, if they don't have a mask, tell them to get a mask. Don't serve them, whatever.
Get a
So-
mask or
yeah.
get on out.
Exactly, right? So, and I was like, all right, plain and simple, no problem.
I guess you have to like. Some people had exemptions, so like.
Well,
you have
yeah,
to,
they're-
Health issues.
They have been getting more
but that
like
came with a lot of excuses.
exactly,
fake
right?
excuses,
You didn't know
yeah.
who to trust, right? So like with the exemption thing, I was like if I knew you were being honest about it, I was like, okay, whatever, that's fine, whatever. But if you were just making excuses or if you were just lazy to get a mask, like, no, fucking get out. So there was this one dude, right? He comes to my till with, I remember, it was Doritos Sweet Chili Heat. Yep, and a bag of milk.
Mhm.
So he comes
That's a
over.
weird combo.
That
yeah.
was-
I know, yeah.
Well, no, because if it's too spicy, you drink the
Oh,
milk.
that's true. Yeah.
So he comes to
What
my
a
till.
coward.
He comes to my till,
I
right?
feel like sweet chili heat shouldn't even be that hot, but
Well, you know.
He comes to my till. He's like all confident and all. Puts the stuff on my till, and I'm like, "Hi, sir. Do you have a mask with you?" And he either said no, I don't believe in masks, or no, I don't need a mask. He said one of the two. I'm pretty sure he said I don't believe in masks because I remember he was being cocky about it. So when he said that, I was like, I can't serve you without a mask. Get out. So I wasn't having it that day. I was not having it.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not serving you without a mask. I can't. Sorry. And he was like, oh, okay. I'll be right back. He walks out. As he's walking out, he turns to me and he's like, you know, you're not allowed to do that, right? Like, I could have an exemption and you wouldn't know that. And I'm like, I'm just doing my job. And you said you didn't believe in masks. So putting two and two together, yeah. So he leaves, right? I had a feeling he wasn't going to come back. So I took his stuff off the till and I put it on the till behind me. Because I was like, he's probably not going to come back. Probably one of those weirdos, whatever. So lo and behold, he comes back about like maybe 15, 20 minutes later with another Doritos sweet chili heat and another bag of milk. Puts it on the thing. And I'm like, sir, I still can't cash you out without a mask. And then he goes on about the bylaw, blah, blah, blah. It's a free country. It's his right to do whatever he wants, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sir, I still can't cash you out. And then he starts insulting me. He's like, oh, did you read the bylaw? Oh, you're wearing glasses. Oh, what, you can't read without your glasses? And I'm like, so now you're insulting me now. Now you're taking it personal. So I called my my supervisor. My supervisor was like 9 months pregnant at the time. She doesn't need this stress, right? She doesn't need that.
No.
So
she's like due any day. Then.
Yeah, I felt bad for my supervisor because she's ready to burst, right? So she comes over. My supervisor's defending me, trying to like resolve the situation. Like they're yelling back and forth and everything like that. He keeps on going about the bylaw, whatever, blah blah blah, and she's going about like store policy and like company policy, and like if you're on their property, then you have to respect their rules and shit like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing though, like the mask is a law. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly.
Like
it's a bylaw.
That's a law. Like if you're not wearing a mask and you're not exempt, like you can get fined for that.
Yeah.
Like okay, I like, I'm not even joking here. If this dude was like being genuinely honest and like oh yeah, like I have an exemption, like I can't breathe well, like there's something with my lungs, like I would have been like, okay, fine, no problem. But he was being cocky, he was being an asshole, like I could tell he wanted to start something. So I was just being calm the entire thing. Internally though, I wanted, oh my god, I'm getting to that though. I'm getting to that. So my supervisor and him, they keep on going back and forth. My supervisor's defending me and shit like that. And then she went to she asked him something about like like why are you so like hard pressed about this, and then he turns to me, he looks at me and he's like, that's because he's trying to flex on me. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no such thing. I said,
where are you
like,
trying to flex?
yeah,
That does not
I said
sound
no
cool
such thing.
in the least bit. What?
Because he's trying to
Yeah,
flex.
because
on
he's
you.
trying to flex.
to
I'm like,
flex.
huh? I was like, sir, no such thing.
Doesn't
I'm
want this.
literally just doing my job here, trying to keep everybody safe. And I was unvaccinated at that time, right? I was unvaccinated, so I wasn't taking any risks.
That was before the vaccine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was before the vaccine
Yeah,
too,
way
right?
before.
Yeah, so I wasn't taking any fucking risks. So he goes like, oh, he's just trying to flex on me, blah blah blah. And then it came to the point where me and my supervisor were all like, yeah, we refuse service to you, get out, like get the fuck out before we call the cops. So he's like, oh, you're refusing service to me? He smashes the Dorito bag and he picks up the milk bag and he chucks it at me. Hits me like in the chest, like I go like that a bit, and then I lost it at that point. I was like, get the fuck out of the store. Like I went up to his face like that. Get the fuck out of the, don't fucking disrespect me like that. Oh, just thinking about it now makes me even pissed off even more.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your composure, especially when a customer throws something at you, because like technically like if he threw something at you and like you hit back, that's self-defense.
No,
that's the point where it's like it's self-defense.
I didn't have any intention of hitting him back because I knew, like, I was pissed off, but I still knew that if I hit him, it would only make things worse.
Yeah.
So I refrained from hitting him and shit like that. I was like, I got up to him. I was like, get the fuck out of the, don't fucking disrespect me like that. And then he ends up leaving and shit like that. He flips me off. He went like that on the way out, and I'm like, what the?
I guess he was trying to flex on you.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, you're actually like this guy's actually 5 years old. Like, get the fuck out of the store.
Yeah.
And then
Go back and play Fortnite.
yeah, and then the customers, like, some of the customers, they were defending me and shit like that too, like, cause like as I told them to fuck off, I went back inside. As I was going back inside, one of the gentlemen's, he was like, oh buddy, you're a great cashier, and I'm like, thank you, sir. And then I went over to the break room, told my supervisor, I'm going the fuck home.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the infamous milk story.
Wild stories here, guys.
We got so much more
Plenty.
stories.
Obviously, we can't fit it all in one packed episode. Otherwise, it's going to be a long one, and I don't think a lot of people want that.
Yeah, we'll never know, but if you want a two-parter, if you guys want to hear more, just let us know and we'll.
Yeah, please let us know. We need
Slap
feedback,
me in
guys.
the face. You'll hear more about my stories about how I always want to fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
Made it my mantra. Learned it in different languages.
But once again, too, we want to say we got some feedback from some people, and we really want to thank you guys for that. Keep it up, because we always want to hear from you guys and make sure that that we're talking about things that you guys want to hear. If there's any topics you guys want us to talk about, then give us a shout.
And also too, sorry, I just gotta make a note. The podcast it's about us, but it's not just for us. It's for you guys.
Yeah, we're trying to include you guys in this too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
So once again, Rebels out.
Rebels out.
Stay spooky.
We'll see you next
Peace.
episode, guys.
I love you.
Sweet dreams.
Dad.